Friends, let us start our discussion about collisions. Collisions is a commonly encountered phenomena, if you talk about the billiards game, marbles, carom, etc. Then there are collisions occur between the balls and caroms and billiards. Okay, so what thing in the collision is conserved, what it changes, and how the collisions occur, how many types of collisions, what happens, the velocities of the colliding object after collision. So there are different aspects by which we can discuss this topic. So let us start our discussion from the type of collision. As we know that there are if we study the collision in two different way, like as in one dimensional collision and other in two dimensional collision. So let us talk about collision in one dimension. So one dimensional collision, one dimensional collision, it means when we talk about two different balls and they are moving in a particular direction, and after colliding, if there is no change in the direction of the ball, it means they are moving along a particular straight line back or forth. So we can say that the motion of such type of motion of such type of objects which are colliding to each other is one dimensional collision. But when after striking the balls, the ball get deviated from its original track and it moves in two different directions, so such type of collision is known as two dimensional collision. But if suppose that if we talk about a bomb, when we throw the bomb in vertical direction, making some angle from the vertical, okay, so when in the air bomb explodes, then different particles, different part of the bomb will goes in different direction. So such type of collision is known as collision in three dimension. So let us first study the collision in one dimension. So for discussing the collision, let us know what thing is conserved during the collision. So one thing is more important at here, as we know that the momentum of all the object colliding each other is always conserved. It means the total momentum before the collision is always equal to the total momentum after the collision. So suppose that we have two balls and in which one has mass m1 and other has mass m2, and the ball 1 is moving towards ball 2 with a velocity of v1. Okay, v1, or simply you can take it u1. This is the initial velocity by which the ball is moving towards ball B. And for simplicity, if we consider the ball 2 is at rest, then after colliding these two balls, if the both ball will move after colliding, if they combine to each other and they form a single ball whose mass is m1 plus m2, m1 plus m2. So such type of collision in which after collision the two ball will combines to each other and commonly move to a particular velocity v. So if the final velocity by which both ball moves that is v, so such type of collision is known as perfectly inelastic collision. Inelastic collision means when ball 1 is collides with ball 2, then both are combined to each other, both are stick to each other, and after sticking to each other they are moving with a particular velocity, then such type of collision is known as inelastic collision. Inelastic collision. So let us talk about this type of collision. So after that we will talk about elastic collision. What happen when such type of two balls collide with each other? So as we know that the total momentum before the collision and total momentum after the collision is always constant or same. So the total momentum before the collision is m1 u1 plus the total momentum before collision, because this is at a steady state, it means at rest position, so its momentum is m2 into 0, that is 0, is equal to total momentum after colliding the ball, it means m1 plus m2 whole into v. So from here we can easily find out what will be the velocity or the combined velocity of both ball, by which the combined mass of both object will move in the direction. So this will be equal to m1 by m1 plus m2 whole of u1. Okay, so this is a particular case, and now in this case when this ball collides with this ball, then some kinetic energy of this ball will reduced. It means the total kinetic energy before the collision will be greater than in comparison to the total energy after the collision. It means after the collision some energy will transmitted in the form of heat and sound. So the total initial kinetic energy of this ball will which collides to the second ball which is at rest initially, so the kinetic energy of this ball finally reduces, and the value of the kinetic energy by which reduces can be calculated easily with the help of formula. Suppose that the initial kinetic energy of this ball is half of m1 u1 square plus the kinetic energy of this ball becomes 0 is equal to kinetic energy of this ball, that is the kinetic energy of this ball is, this is final kinetic energy, so half of m1 plus m2 into v square. Okay, and the kinetic energy, initial kinetic energy of the both ball is this can be written as half of m u1 square. So if you want to find out what will be the change in the kinetic energy after collision, then we can find out it as k. As we know that initial kinetic energy of the both ball is larger in comparison to the both ball after collision. So if we suppose that this is higher than that this, so the difference of this will be a positive quantity. So let us calculate it. Ki minus kf is equal to half of m u1 square minus half of m1 plus m2 into v square. So from here you get half of m1 u1 square plus half of, now if you put the value of v from here, then we get m1 plus m2, now here minus m1 plus m2 whole into v means m1 square u1 square divided by m1 plus m2 square. Okay, so if we take half of m1 square u1 square as common in both terms, then we get 1 minus, as half of m1 plus m2 will cancel by this. So from here we get m1 by m1 plus m2. So from here we get half of m1 u1 square, from here m1 plus m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2. So m1 and m1 will cancel each other, and at here we get half of m1 m2 but m1 plus m2 and u1 square. So this is change in kinetic energy. This is change in kinetic energy, and as we are seeing that mass is never negative, so this quantity is positive, as in the denominator m1 plus m2, so this is also positive, and u1 square, it means this is a positive quantity. So change in the kinetic energy is obtained as a positive quantity. So we can say that the initial kinetic energy of this ball or the system of both ball is greater than that of the kinetic energy after collision of both ball. Okay, so one can easily guess that the kinetic energy of the system of both ball after collision decreases when the collision is inelastic collision. But one can also establish a relation and can also explain the total momentum of the both ball before the collision is always equal to the total momentum of the both ball after the collision. So we can also it express as we know that if the first ball moving with particular initial velocity u1, then its momentum is p1, and the first ball is moving, the second ball is at rest, so its initial momentum is 0. So what will be the change in the momentum after collision? So we can explain it on the basis of the action reaction law. The total momentum, or you can explain it, the impulse imparted by the first ball on the second will be just equal to the impulse imparted by the second ball on the first. It means if we talk about the impulse imparted by the first ball on the second, so impulse imparted by the second ball on first, okay, so delta p1 can be written as force applied by the first ball on second dot time interval delta t. Suppose that if delta t is the time of impact, it means during this time interval the both ball colliding each other, and after that they are separating or they are moving in a particular direction. So if we talk about this, then one can write it as, and similarly the impulse imparted on the second ball due to the first can be expressed as this equation, and we will know that this force is always equal to this in the negative form, because every action have their equal and opposite reaction according to third law of motion. So if this is equal and opposite to this, so we can write it as delta p1 equal to minus of delta p2. So from here we get delta p1 plus delta p2 is equal to 0. So if we take delta as common, so p1 plus p2 is equal to 0. So it provides us the information about the momentum, that the total change in the momentum after the collision is always 0. It means the momentum is conserved. So one can say that collision is one dimension or two dimension or three dimensional. Either collision is inelastic or elastic. In all the cases the total momentum of the system is always conserved, but the kinetic energy is conserved until the collision is elastic. When the collision becomes inelastic, then we can say that the kinetic energy of the system decreases in the form of heat, sound, etc. Okay, so one can say that the kinetic energy decreases after the collision in inelastic collision, and the kinetic energy is constant, it means conserved in elastic collision, and the total momentum is always conserved. So on the basis of the conservation of momentum and conservation of kinetic energy in elastic collision, and no conservation in inelastic collision, we can describe more about the different types of collision in one dimension and also in two dimension collision. This all about will happen in our next lecture. Okay, till now take care, thank you.